2.4 acres, Anchor Point, Alaska, along the Sterling Highway. My name is Miles McLaughlin here with Wilco Land. What we do is we buy and sell raw land, ideally focusing on unique and epic properties. A new property here with us. You can see here's the corner of it. This is kind of the land here, out here just south of Anchor Point, Alaska. In this video, I'm going to go over FAQs and common questions. We do offer more of a self-service model, and I'll go over, what I see in the property, how to go view it on your own, and go over some of those common questions. So the first thing I want to talk about is the location here. I'm going to pull up the coordinates on Google Maps and Google Earth, and also Onyx Maps, and talk about how to view this property. So you're simply going to use the GPS coordinates to go find this. I've got it pulled up already on Onyx Maps. You can see it right here. All I'm doing is copying and pasting these coordinates in here. I use Onyx Maps. It's my favorite app for land viewings because it shows these property lines if you have the upgraded versions. And I do have a blog on the website about how to use it. So you can see the property highlighted here. Behind it, some wetland. There's some wetland that probably floods onto the property. So I'll get to that in a second as well. So this is something, how to view the property. I use Onyx Maps, right? This gives you a bird's eye view. And the next thing I want to show you is here on Google Maps, just giving you this bird's eye view, showing you where we're at in Alaska here. So this is a good location. There's no zoning out here. There's no restrictions. So when I think about this property, I think maybe commercial use along the highway. Maybe it's just a spot to pull off and get a night's rest, right? Maybe you want to put some sort of tiny home on it or off-grid structure on the property. Maybe it's just a camping spot. Maybe it's a place to pull the RV over when you're traveling around Alaska. So at the price we have it, there's a lot of use for it as number one, an investment, number two, a recreational asset, right, that exists out in Alaska. So, if you are curious about what rural unrestricted means, like I said, out here in Alaska, there's not a lot of zoning. There's not a lot of restrictions to what you can do with the property. You can go to their website here and read more about what's allowed on our rural residential district properties. So you can go there. So, there is electric in the area. We know that. RVs and camping are allowed. I touched on that. We know electric's out there. You may be able to put a well and septic in, get into utilities, but, it probably, like a septic system, maybe the technology's out there in the future. Maybe you can get something that works or whatever. But, this property, and I'll pull it up, it's got a lot of wetlands. You can see, like, the soil is probably not suitable for a septic system. So you're going to have to pivot on this property, hence the price, right? If it was suitable for a septic system, we're looking at a totally different price. That's why I say RVs, camping, some sort of creative land use. Is it a billboard? Is it a small food truck on the side of the road here? Are you selling furs, So just things like that, right? Is it just a long-term investment too? So I did have it in the listing pulled up. I had the wetlands. You can see this is freshwater forested shrub wetland, right? All throughout here. And other people have developed, you can see this imagery, people have developed right alongside of it. So this home has some development right alongside of it. You can see people have done work right outside of that. And so as you can see, part of our property, right? You can see this area over here is probably outside of this wetland. So this is your usable space. Let's draw that. Let's kind of see what that looks like. So just comparing the aerial imagery, it's basically this tree line. And where does the property go? So it's kind of this tree line coming down here. This probably is more so contiguous with the road, but let's just take a peek and draw that out and see how much space we have. I'd assume these trees are pretty well dry outside of here, but let me just kind of draw this spot out and see what we have in terms of available, size or acreage here. This is almost, over a tenth of an acre, between a tenth and a quarter of an acre. That's some pretty decent size of available space outside of that wetland. And I'm just approximating this, but I've got the property priced with this in mind. It's probably pretty swampy and wet back here. It's probably pretty small to get a septic system approved right next to this wetland right here. I haven't done it. I haven't gotten a perk test. I haven't talked to anybody about it. Maybe you can. Maybe you can build on stilts. Maybe you can build a dry cabin. But I know you can RV. You can park. You can use it for recreational use. There's value to that. There's value to the long-term asset. Maybe put a billboard up outside of it, like I said. Maybe it's a little hut on the side of the road people can camp in under the square footage required that needs a permit. right? So you got to get creative. You got to have a vision for these type of properties. And maybe it's pulling off here. This looks pretty dry for camping and recreation, this whole area. And I'll draw that out as well. I mean, obviously this type of vegetation is growing. And this area is about 1/4 of an acre. That's a lot of space, right? And this really looks like the wet area. You can see the topography is different than this area up here that kind of looks like high grounds. And we can even get on street views and take a peek at what we're looking at here. So like I said, some immediate use may be camping and recreation along the road here. That looks pretty dry where those trees are. And then again, you've got this section here. Could you put some sort of driveway in, some sort of campsite? Again, winter camping would work. Can you pull off and park right here? An official survey would need to be done. It looks like you can park right here. I don't know if this property extends to the road. What I'm looking at here is a GIS map, which overlays property lines or parcel lines on top of Google Earth. These lines could easily shift this way 5 yards, right? And this could be the official survey line, or it could shift this way, or this could be dead on. So just keep that in mind. If you really do want to understand your boundaries of your property, you're going to need to get that official survey done. And maybe there is one done along the road from the government. You know what I mean? So there could be survey markers here that I don't know. I haven't been to the property. So again, we've got some usable space. I kind of draw it out. What does a guy do with the property? It's really that recreational, pull off the road type of spot, maybe a long-term investment. So, with that being said, I'm open to offers. We do offer seller financing. That kind of covers what this property is. I wanted to summarize it and just talk about some of those wetlands and just knowing that we've got the property price with all things in mind. So again, I've got other properties in Alaska if you're interested. A lot of off-grid, remote, really unique properties. I'll kind of browse through here or show you what we have for a second at the end of this video. But have questions, give me a call. Again, a little bit more of a self-service model here at Wilco Land. My number is 605-250-1256. You want to look at anything else on the website, feel free to go drive by or fly into, I should say. Thanks, guys, for tuning in.